that are being considered. One of them would require a warrant for every query of lawfully collected data. If that were to pass and get into the bill, would the president veto that bill?
So I'm not in a position to stand here today and make veto threats on behalf of the president. Those are decisions for him to make. What I will tell you is that we do not believe that that serves the national security interests of the United States. And in fact, today I will be making that case to a number of members that the warrant requirement as conceived is not the best way actually to ensure the protection of the personal privacy of Americans. There are a number of other elements of the bill that we have supported that would reform and update FISA to protect the civil liberties of Americans. But a warrant requirement from our perspective would go too far in undermining the very purpose of FISA. Frankly, it would put victims at risk.
Kane, were you okay with that? Welcome back to the program. Dana here. I'm checking on Kane. Kane
No, I'm okay. Physically
froze, and he made...
Physically, I'm all right. Mentally, it was...
Your eyes went to googly mode.
Yeah. I don't understand. So the whole requiring a warrant by authorities is not helpful to Americans? I think it's more not helpful to authorities, I think is basically what he's getting at.
Kane, are Americans, you know.
This is quite an argument you make.
I mean, those authorities are Americans.
Right.
So that's, it's not helpful to them.
The ones in position of authority are, American, but more accountable to Americans than the average American.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, Kane, but I'm just not free to speak on the accountability. But they are Americans, yes, and having just dispersing with the whole warrant requirement, makes it easy for those Americans to go after those other Americans. I just drop on Jake Sullivan here, just drop on my own history as a grunt for Hillary Clinton. Going and working with the crime. I mean, honestly, maybe that's what he thinks. He thinks that maybe it's the only thing I get. Goodness, this is just they're going to be arguing over this tomorrow on the floor. It goes to the floor tomorrow. The whole FISA 702 program that's scheduled, Reforming Intelligence and Securing America Act. It's coming up on the floor tomorrow.
Securing America Act. That sounds like it's important.
Yeah, like securing America seems important. Securing America at the expense of Americans' liberty, though. Franklin said that if you think that you can have, security to protect peace, you deserve neither.
No, if you give up,
liberty. If you give up
Any
liberty to secure peace, you deserve neither. Exactly. So, now we've been talking about the breaking news that came out while we were on air about how there's now a space threat or something. They're pushing this. They're pushing this as a way to manipulate you into voting or to have your lawmakers vote for this ridiculous bill. This ridiculous bill that's, again, tons of taxpayer dollars towards Ukraine. And they're saying, it's a very concerning, very destabilizing threat. I like how they're just dripping it out. They could have said that from the beginning, but that doesn't scare people for an hour. It doesn't scare them enough for an hour or so. But they say it's a breakthrough with Russia's space technology. Very convenient, right after this bill stalls out in the House and, all of these others. It's just so convenient. I'm sure it's just, I'm sure that it's just a shocker. Here's this Department of Defense statement that came out this morning. It's the Missile Defense Agency, Space Development Agency, announced the upcoming launch of 6 satellites into low orbit Earth from Space Launch Complex 40 in Cape Canaveral. It includes 2 satellites for MDA's hypersonic and ballistic tracking space sensor, and the final 4 SDA tranche tracking the layer satellites of its proliferated warfighter space architecture as part of the National Security Space Launch Program. And then you have SpaceX's Falcon 9 that's delivering the satellites to orbit. Maybe we should put Elon Musk on this. Yeah. Just saying. Howard Hughes served his country. Just saying. Maybe we could put Howard Hughes came in clutch for something during World War II. Maybe this is something here. This is something maybe Musk could deal with. I'm just saying, that's all the timing on this is
And
all
that
so
story-
interesting.
Exactly. That story that you just talked about came out at the exact same time that Mike Turner put out that notice wanting Biden to declassify information because of this threat. So it seems coordinated in some way. This is about space. What Mike Turner's talking about is about space. This is all about money. This is literally what it is. It's all about money.
So, see, Kane, in order to secure America's space or space for America or American air, whatever,
Right.
we have to send $61 billion to Ukraine.
Yeah. I guess that's where I'm having
See,
trouble.
it's the same principle as putting a bunch of cash on a pallet and sending it up to the sun to combat the global warming. That's what it.
It would block some of the sun rays for a little bit, though.
Yeah, you paper over them
That's what you're
with the
saying.
money.
Right.
That's why it's very important to throw money at these things. So see what they're going to do in Ukraine is they're going to take our $61 billion and just paper over and suffocate the Russian advance with it.
Well, they'll take our $61 billion and they'll just throw it into space. That's what they'll do.
Yeah, like they're in the champagne room.
Making it rain.
Yeah, like
Literally.
just, dollar bills, y'all. That's what they're going to go up and do. And then Russians are going to go, "Oh my goodness, look, they're making it rain in space. We cannot take on the Americans." That's what they'll do. And then they'll just some conspiracy theorist out there is going to say my Russian accent's too good. I could have been a spy. I can have any accent except a Texas accent. I cannot do a Texas accent to save my life. It's weird. It's like it's like a normal speaking voice, and then all of a sudden there's a drawl out of nowhere. Like it comes and it hits you in the face, and you're like, "Whoa, Texas!" That's what it's like. Anyway, so they're going to have a briefing. I've been asking some members of Congress, like, "What's up? Is it space aliens?" I really wish it was. It's not anything that interesting. I mean, I just think if you're going to freak us all out, like, make it good. Otherwise, you're just going to be the boy who cried wolf, and we're not going to take you seriously, especially when you send out a bumbling weasel liar like Jake Sullivan, that Kremlin-loving grifter. When you send somebody like that out to peddle this stuff, definitely not going to believe you. But I just kind of feel like it would have been way cooler if it was space aliens. Like, guys, we got to... Now, think about it. Where would you have been tempted to say, maybe we can spend some money on some of... I would still say on our own defense. If it was a giant, space alien ship in the sky getting ready to kill us all. I don't know. I just feel like that would be more... And this is Russia. They couldn't even steamroll through Ukraine. You think they're going to go up in space and try to get froggy? Golly, War Inc., the fantasies that these people have. Oh, man. So the information, any developments on that we'll have for you and make sure that we'll share that with you. But in the meantime, don't let them, don't be manipulated into thinking this. I mean, and the warrantless searches too. It does seem like it's kind of tying all of this together. Oh my gosh, we got to have these warrantless searches. It's very important to our security. Yeah. Oh, by the way, here's a risk to our security, but I'm not in a position to tell you about it. And then we have to wait for the slow drip from members of the press who go, "Oh, well, it has to do with space and Russians in space and capabilities." Yeah, that.
I think the slow drip that you talked about is an effort to probably, they know they're getting nowhere with this bill. And it's an effort to push this into the weekend, into a weekend news cycle, and have some sort of crazy event between now and
Wait,
the
what do you mean
weekend.
crazy event?
I don't know. Something else that motivates, quote unquote, people to vote yay on the funding.
I am not going to be motivated by anything to be yay on the funding. It's just not ever going to happen.
We'll see what happens. I got a tinfoil hat. I get it. But we'll see what happens.
There is not anything that is going to make me do it that I would be in support of it. Nothing. I'm not sending $10 billion to Gaza. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen for Hamas to go and buy more rockets. Not going to happen. Not sending another $61 billion to Ukraine. Not going to happen. There is no threat that they could use to prevail upon me. The need it convinced me to do this. It's just not going to. I'm not going to support it. It's just stupid. You know, I think the security threat is the people that we don't know coming across the southern border. That's the security threat.
And if Republicans were smart, they'd be running on this issue and pointing to the fact that here's the number of illegal entries on the year before Biden actually took over. And now here in succession, these 3+ years that Biden's been in charge and taking away a lot of those protections at the border, here are the numbers now. It's clear. It's absolutely clear.
If they were smart, and I don't like engaging in hypotheticals, but I always say if my aunt had beans, she'd be my uncle. But if, they were smart, they would be out there saying, yes, we agree there is a national security threat. We don't know who's coming across the southern border. Here's one terrorist that was known, that was apprehended and released. Here's another terrorist that was known, who was briefly detained and then released. Here's another terrorist, and throw all that stuff up. That's what they should be doing.